there's no place like home for Kansas, and that's where they're headed after the shocker of the tournament so far. Under 5 minutes left, Northern Iowa up by 3. Johnny Moran outside. Look at the range. UNI up 6. They led by as many as 12. Up 5 here. Jayhawks making a charge. Markieff Morris sticking with it after the miss. Gets his own rebound, puts it back in. Kansas down just 3. But Northern Iowa having some issues with the press. Jake Cook, double team, intercepted by Xavier Henry. He's fouled. Henry, though, after he gets it, he's going to go to the line, and he misses the front end of a 1-and-1. 90 seconds left in the game. Northern Iowa up 5. Kajo Ahelgaba misses Adam Cook. Look at him. Big man doing damage. 2 hands to be sure. The lead is 7. Just over a minute left. Moran looking to pass again, and once again having issues with the press is Northern Iowa. Over Cook's head, out of bounds. No one touched the ball. Kansas gets the ball under their own basket. Northern Iowa more issues with the pressure. Ahelgaba steps out of bounds. Take another look. You see the right foot right there. Or the left foot it is. On the line, he's out of bounds, so Kansas gets the ball. Shawan Collins, just 4-15 shooting, 10 points, but that move puts Kansas to within 1. Final seconds, Northern Iowa breaking the press. Now, plenty of time. Check this out on the shot clock. Ali Faroukmanesh.
No.
Yes! Takes the 3 and he nails it. Are you kidding me? Northern Iowa up by 4. Kansas pushing Collins to Reed. Reed drives. Call for the offensive foul. Northern Iowa pulling off the stunner. They advance to the Sweet 16 for the first time ever in school history. 69-67 is your final. So Iowa, Northern Iowa, the first MVC tournament champion to advance to the Sweet 16. Get this, since Larry Bird's Indiana State team back in 1979 did it. And the first from that conference to be the #1 ranked opponent since 62, of course, Larry Bird's team in 79 went on to face Magic in the national championship. Faroukmanesh, who hit that game winner in the first round, finished with 16, but none bigger than those clutch 3 late in this one.
Our guys did a good job of rebounding the basketball for the most part, and then you know, we were able to knock in some timely threes when we had to.
I don't know if coach really wanted him to shoot that when he was like that in that position, but if you know Ali, you know that shot's going up at the end of the game like that.
I was just open on that side, so they were trapping, and it came up to me, and I was gonna go, and Johnny was on the other wing, so I was gonna see if I could drive it, and then he backed off so far that I thought I might as well just shoot this one.
When Ali's open like that, it's always the right shot for this team.
We are certainly going to enjoy this, you know, for a day or so, and then we've got to get ready for our next basketball games.
Ali Boumbaye. Northern Iowa becomes the 8th team from the MVC to reach the Sweet 16 since the field expanded in '85. However, the last team from the Missouri Valley to win a regional semifinal game, Wichita State, back in 1981, which beat Kansas before losing to LSU in the Elite 8. Now, you would think the Jayhawks would be speechless after the shocker, but the team did muster some sound.
We tried real hard, just didn't make shots early, and when we had a chance to do some things late, just didn't make the play.
I really didn't think he was going to shoot it. I thought he was going to try and maybe run some time off the clock, but he did, and he made a great shot.
Well, the guy's got guts because he's 0 for 6 the second half from 3. 7 seconds left on the, 7-second differential, and he goes for it. He even hesitated before he shot it. But give them credit. That was a dagger.
Very disappointed, sad that it happened, especially for Sharon.
When a guy gives you so much for over 4 years and it's over in 40 minutes, you know, it's kind of a, you know, obviously it's a tough reality. There's just 1 or 2 plays here or there that was the difference in the game. But yeah, this thing.
South in big trouble. This is Villanova against 10th-seeded St. Mary's. Scotty Reynolds had a brutal afternoon. Only 8 points, shot 2 of 11. Knocks this one down, though, and we're tied up late. Matthew Dellavedova. Watch him somehow keep the dribble. That's Marcus Haynes right there. Then knocks down the 3. He had 14. Gales up by 3. Tied at 65. How about Mickey McConnell? Yep, off the glass, he had 15. Gales by 3. Reggie Redding. Omar Samhan was enormous. 32 points, 7 rebounds. The key block there. Samhan shot 13 of 16. Yeah, that's it right there. That's the look. St. Mary's upsets Villanova. 75-68. Villanova was 20-1 after they beat Seton Hall back on February 2nd. They then dropped 5 of their last 9, including the loss to West Virginia in the Big East tournament. Then they barely escaped 15-seeded Robert Morris in OT on Thursday, and now they're beaten here by 10th-seeded St. Mary's. The Gales move on to Houston for the South Regional Sweet 16. They'll get 3rd-seeded Baylor on Thursday.
I'm happy we were able to do this for St. Mary's. You know, it's a mid-major. We get that label, we get that title, and I'm just happy we were able to come through for, not only the city of Moraga, the Bay Area, but, mid-majors across the country. It felt good.
They can play with, with anybody in the Big East. There's no doubt. They're a very, very good team. So I would assume if everybody's watching them every night in the East Coast, yeah, they probably would have a lot more respect.
Mom's had a flight to Houston for since Selection Sunday, so I'm glad we'll be there too, because she was going either way. Mom, that's where we get our confidence from, my mom.
We didn't see 2 in one day taking on Wake Forest. John Calipari expecting a fast-paced game, saying if they run and we run, they better have a young officials crew on this game because it'll be hard to stay up with it. But it was Wake who couldn't keep up the pace. Kentucky up 14 in the first half. DeAndre Liggins to strip Ishmael Smith. Up ahead to DeMarcus Cousins. Cousins 19 points, 8 rebounds. Cats up 16. John Wall, y'all, finding Cousins for the easy lay-in right there. Check it out again. Great backdoor pass by Wall. Wall 14 points, 7 dimes. Kentucky putting the spank down in this one. Eric Bledsoe, check this out. Nasty. No contest. UK rolls by 30. 90 at a 60-year final. Cats hand Wake its worst loss of the season and talk about looking impressive so far. They've scored 190 points in their first 2 games of this tournament, the most for a Kentucky team in back-to-back tourney games since 1996, and you remember that year they won it all. Up next for them, the winner of Sunday's Cornell-Wisconsin matchup in the round of 16. But so far, Cal's Young Guns, focus man. The West Butler having all kinds of issues with the 13th-seeded Murray State Racers. The Racers freshmen their upset against Vandy. Down 2 here, Isaiah Cannon knocking down the big trade. State jumps ahead, 48-47, 30 seconds left, tied at 50. Ronald Norred and the foul. He had 15. Butler up by 3. 9 seconds remaining. State down 2. Cannon double team. Tries to pass it out of the double team, but Gordon Hayward knocks it away. Time runs out, and Butler holds on for the slim 54-52 win. So Butler is the game on a 7-2 run to advance to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2007 and 3rd time in school history. The Dogs also extending their nation's best winning streak to 22. Norred, one of 4 Butler starters in double digits.
Last time BYU got to the NCAA 3rd round, 81 when Danny Ainge beat Digger. Cougars seeded 7th in the West, facing the 2-seed Kansas State Jayhawks. Here's Jacob Pullen, knocks it away from Jimmer Fredette, hits the ground hard for the loose ball. Pullen has to come out a few minutes later. When he goes back in, he is feeling it. Kansas State up 9. Next possession, Pullen, how about another 3? 10-point Wildcat lead at halftime. Pullen, 20 of his career-high 34 before halftime. Second half, more of the same. It's Pullen open for Hearn. He tied a career-high with 7 threes. And then it's Wally Judge. Say it along with me. Here come the judge. Here come the judge. Here come the judge. And it's more Pullen. Kansas State, they are into the Sweet 16. They take care of BYU 84-72 as K-State gets its first Sweet 16 appearance since 1988. 3rd career 30-point game for Jacob Pullen. They contained Jimmer Fredette to 21 points and only 4 of 13 shooting. Fredette had scored at least 30 in 3 straight games. The Wildcats are off to Salt Lake City. There, they'll get the Pittsburgh Xavier win. 11 seed in the East, trying to continue their late-season roll and upset 3rd-seeded New Mexico. First half, Elston Turner, get on the floor. There's the hustle you want to see in this tournament. Huskies the other way. Quincy Pondexter give and go with Isaiah Thomas. Pondexter had 18. Second half, Thomas comes up with a steal here. Justin Holiday for 3. Washington wins 82-64. The Huskies into their 3rd Sweet 16 since 2005. They upset
ODU standing in their way. First half, all Bears. Tweety Carter throwing up the oop to lace Darius Dunn. Dunn 26, Bears up 10.5, led by as many as 14. ODU made a run, though, just a minute to go in the game. Josh Lomers.
Yeah, trying to follow their big upset of Georgetown with a win over Bruce Pearl and 6-seeded Tennessee, but it was not to be. Volunteers, they're pretty good. Kenny Hall, they're short-handed but good. They're up 11. J.P. Prince had 18. Tennessee wins 83-68. The Vols into the Sweet 16 for the third time in 4 years. Ohio falls after being
facing the 4 in Maryland. Kalen Lucas, the two-time Big Ten Player of the Year, drives to the hoop. Ouch. Falls awkwardly on his left foot. Lucas needs help getting up from the court. He would leave the game. His coach, Tom Izzo, says it looks like a torn Achilles, and he was devastated. Darrell Sumner's on fire for the Spartans. Summers, 6 of 8 from three-point range. The Sparty was up 11. 12-point lead for Michigan State. More of Summers. There's Kalen Lucas returning as a cheerleader, a boot on his foot. X-ray set for Monday. 4:05 to play. Maryland down 9. Adrian Bowie's elbow catches Raymar Morgan's mouth, and the tooth goes flying, as you can see. Now Morgan looks like a hockey player. Under 2 to go, Maryland forces the turnover. Rivas Vasquez beating Sean Mosley with a shot in the lane, and he hits it. Maryland cuts the lead to 4. 1:28 left, same score. Vasquez, good position. 2 of 6 from three-point range. It's a 1-point game. Then Vasquez, 9 of 20 from the field, hits the runner, gets it to go. Maryland now leads by 1. 24 seconds to go. Draymond Green hits the J. He had 9 points, 8 boards. Spartans up 1. Next Maryland possession. 11 seconds left. Vasquez crossing up. Morgan hits the floater in the lane. Vasquez at 26. Maryland had a 1-point lead. Spartans inbound showing no fear. The ball gets to Lucius. Lucas's replacement, and he hits the 3 at the buzzer. Said Lucius, I had an open look. I just shot it and went in. Let's use the ESPN Access. Izzo monitoring for a timeout. At the same time, Green's pass almost hits Delvin Rowe in the head, and then Lucius hits the game-winning shot. Michigan State wins a thriller by 2 and advances to the Sweet 16 with its 50th NCAA tournament victory. So the player who was in to replace the fallen leader, Kalen Lucas, ends up hitting the game-winning shot, that being Mr. Lucius. That storyline never gets old unless you're ACC Player of the Year Rivas Vasquez, who scored 9 of Maryland's final 11 points. Lucius's buzzer beater capped off a wild finish in which there were 4 lead changes in the final 39 seconds. Tom Izzo and his Spartans move on without Lucas to face Northern Iowa.
Well, with a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, in a huddle, I told my team when we were up, I think 4 or 6, whatever it was, we're going to win this game, and it's going to be one of the greatest wins in the history of Michigan State.
3 weeks ago, we wouldn't have won this game, but it's a matter of us becoming closer as teammates and better teammates to each other. And with us doing that, you can pull games out like this.
Where it really might have ranked high is telling this team a little bit about why you got to be a better teammate, and why you got to have togetherness, and why you got to have people's back, and why everybody is part of the team.
Well, I thought we did everything we could to win the game. In other words, you ask your team to put it out there and try to win the game, and I thought we did.
Thought it was going to be my last game, and I didn't want that game to be my last. But unfortunately, it went the other way. So, I mean, I'm just proud that we came back and we took the lead. We take a lot of guts to do that, and then our team did it, everybody. So, something that is going to make us better. You know, not only as a player, but as a person.
Number 4, Wisconsin, with a real Big Red. Please stand up. Before the game, Cornell working out with a tape ball, because the rules say you can't have a basketball until a certain time, but they're good with the actual leather as well. Ryan Whitman buries that one. He had 24. Big Red shot 61% with a real ball. Lewis Dale, career best 26. Badgers go down hard, 87-69. Ivy Pride.
I was pretty confident that they hadn't seen a team like us in their league play. And the beauty of this tournament is that after you get out of your league play, no one knows you as well. So you're able to do what you really do well, and the other team has to make adjustments, and it's difficult.
We just want to stay within ourselves and do what we can do, and you know, do the things that we can control. And we got 8 seniors on this team, and we want to take this ride as long as we can.
4 seed Purdue. Second half, Purdue down 1. Keaton Grant, see what I mean about the defense? The steal up ahead to each one more. Moore had 15 points. Purdue had a 1-point lead. 1:35 to go, 2-point Purdue lead. Brian Davis with a steal in transition. Look for Donald Sloan. Yes, Sloan. 11 points, 4 of 17 from the field. And then 1.1 to go in a tie game. B.J. Holmes, no. We go to overtime, the fourth overtime of this tournament. In OT, tie game, nice passing by the Aggies. Sloan, Dash Harris to Davis underneath. He had 17. Aggies up 2. Purdue ball, 10 seconds left, tie game. Chris Kramer scored 6 of Purdue's 8 points in OT. He finished with 17. 2-point lead. Then Harris takes it up the court. The handoff to Holmes. 3-point try for the win. No good. Purdue goes on to win by 2. The Aggies failed to move past the second round for a third straight year. The Boilermakers rallied from 11 points down in the second half to get it to overtime, where they win it and move on to the Sweet 16, where they will face the 1 seed Duke. This is, again, the fourth OT game of the tournament, and Chris Kramer, the former high school safety and quarterback, used his muscle and moxie to lift Purdue to a place many thought they couldn't go without the injured Robbie Hummel.
We knew that, you know, their 4 was going to be on Chris. And Chris has done a good job of getting inside, you know, using his dribble. And we just said, if you can break him down, you know, attack the rim. And he was able to do that. He crossed the guy over and got right to the rim. It was a great play. You know, you got to give him credit for making the play.
When I walked in, you know, I said I wanted the ball. And, you know, it just came down to, you know, just making a play. And, you know, our guys battled the whole game to get us in that position. And it came down to, you know, one play. And, you know, we were able to make that play, and, you know, at this point, just survive and advance. And, you know, so we're going to Houston.
Missouri, this is a rematch of the 1998 Insight.com Bowl. Mountaineers up 1 to Sean Butler. How's your Big East hero? Just fine, thanks. West Virginia up 4. Then Darryl Bryant working a little give and go. Butler will finish. Mighty Mouse in control for most of the 40 minutes here. Second half 3-point game. Kevin Jones doubles that up with a triple. It's a 6-point game. Where's Big Shot? Zaire Taylor. He's going to hit a 3, so Missouri, 1 possession game, but with $1:18 left. The young lads off a missed free throw. Butler corrals it, puts it back. He had 28, and West Virginia a winner, 68-59 over Mizzou.
This Cal team, that was 1993. No upset of Duke this time for Cal. Duke just exploited a huge advantage in size and depth. Miles Plumlee, please. And then second half, Cal down 11. John Shire, great D, feeding Smith, who had 20. Duke's D holding Pac-10 Player of the Year Jerome Randall to just 12 points.
Better in the tournament than LeBron James ever was. What do you got for him, Jamie Dixon? You should guard him more. Second half, just over 2 to play. Xavier leads 61-56. After a Jason Love block, we get it ahead to Jordan Crawford, who finished. He had 27. 20 to play. Pitt down 6. Gilbert Brown nails the 3, so now we got a 3-point, 1-possession game. 6.9 to go. Pitt still down 3. Dante Jackson missing the shot. Trayvon Woodall running the court. Ashton Gibbs shoots, misses. Game appears to be over, but wait, we take another look. Perhaps some time on the clock. The ball goes out of bounds off Xavier. Precious ticks left. Tenths of a second. 4 of them, so we're going to line up, do this thing again. Wanamaker, catch and shoot off the inbounds. Got it. There's the buzzer. There's the game. If you're an X-Man, that harmlessly falls away. Xavier, 71-68. Crawford, 27.6 rebounds. Love, 14 points, 8 boards. Xavier has now reached the Sweet 16 in each of the last 3 NCAA tournaments in which they participated. They won 10 of the last 11 games overall heading into next weekend.
In the West, Gonzaga against 1 seed Syracuse. Syracuse without their starting center, Arinze Anuaku. And the Zags were never in this. Big East Player of the Year, Wesley Johnson, 4-6 from 3-point range. A career high 30 WAR, perhaps a bit smoother, taking on Georgia Tech. Tie game, first half. Zachary Peacock with a rebound. Evan Turner with a steal. Georgia Tech 21 turnovers. Turner had a game high 24 points. Early second half, Ohio State up 5. William Buford. Down the court to David Leidy, who doesn't miss from there. Leidy with 18 points, 7-point lead for the Buckeyes. They had an 8-point lead later. John Diebler getting hot. Diebler, 20 points. Impressive outing for him in Ohio State. And Evan Turner makes up for his 9 turnovers by coming in assist and a rebound.